Once again, this webinar is going to be recorded and the contents will be displayed on YouTube after the webinar has been finished. Do you see the presentation slides okay?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning all, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to today's workshop. Make your website work for you, designed to help you improve your website. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Zell McGee. I am an accredited small business consultant from America's SBDC at Texas Tech University here in Abilene. I have 35 years of military and civilian management experience working for the United States Air Force, and I am a graduate of Hardin-Simmons University, both with a bachelor's and a master's. This webinar will provide information, regardless of your skill level, that you may find useful in managing your small business and creating your website, managing your website. I'm very excited to be with you here today. I please ask that you hold all your questions until the end of the webinar and that you silence your microphones. The presentation should take about 45 minutes to get through, and then we'll have about 15 minutes for questions and answers, or a little bit more, depending. I can stay and answer any questions that folks may have. For those of you who don't know about Grow with Google, it is an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their businesses using Google tools. Today, you're going to learn how to create a website that drives user action and supports your business goals. Whether you're launching a new website or sprucing up an old one, this workshop will help you get the most out of your website. So let's get started. If I can get my slides to move. There we go. A strong web presence has long helped small businesses reach customers, but consumer behavior is changing rapidly. Since the start of 2020, 75% of US consumers have tried a new shopping behavior. Maybe they're trying new ways to buy from businesses they know and trust, like using their mobile apps, or maybe they switched and now buy products from different businesses. Maybe these businesses have better mobile apps. Changes in consumer behavior can be frustrating for marketers, but they're also opportunities. Today's consumers are motivated by ease, convenience, and trust. The opportunities can arise in key moments during a customer's purchase journey. You can grab their attention with a strong web presence, one that's easy to navigate, convenient, and trustworthy. Customers often look for websites in moments of need. If you have what they need and a strong website that provides a frictionless experience, you're more likely to win their business. Let's start by reviewing web design. When people hear web design, they often think of the graphic design, the website's look and feel. But the look and feel is just one component of web design. Within the graphic template, there are lots of common elements that appear on most websites, including the header or top section of the site. The header usually includes a company logo in the left corner. Most website visitors expect that the logo will link to the homepage. The footer or bottom section of the website. The footer usually includes important links, contact information, and copyright information. And 3, the navigation, usually horizontally across the top of the site or vertically on the left-hand side of the site. Effective websites follow guidelines to keep web pages consistent, using colors, font sizes, font styles, types of content, etc. Some sites are designed and built from scratch. Many sites use a content management system or CMS, such as WordPress. Most CMS options include web-based tools that allow you to easily build, customize, and update your website. There are many options out there, and they are all a little different. Shopify, Wix, and WordPress, just to name a few. If you're just getting started, we recommend that you try a few and find the CMS that you are most comfortable using. I need to add, it is not rocket science, and don't be afraid of the technology. Try it out and see how well you can work with it. If you can use Microsoft Office, you can create a website. But whether you're building a website from scratch or using a content management system, all the principles from today's workshop will apply. In today's presentation, we'll look at 5 characteristics of a great website. A website is not all about an eye-catching design. A great site is goal-oriented. How will your site grow your business? It is search-friendly. Can search engines find your site? It offers an easy and convenient experience for customers. Is it easy to use your site on all devices? It has pages and content that are organized and intuitive to navigate. Is your site simple to navigate? And it works to gain a customer's trust. Does your website protect your customers? Let's start by talking about why our website should be goal-oriented. It's not enough just to have a site because everyone else has one, or because you've been told you need one. A great website has specific goals, both short and long-term. If you factor in these goals as you create and refine your site, it can help your business now and in the future as your business grows. Start by asking yourself, why do I want a website? What are you trying to do? What are your goals? Your site can have all kinds of goals. It can make sales, maybe an obvious choice, but think about the other ways a site can help your business. It could build your brand by establishing a look and feel that represents and resonates with the customers you're trying to reach. It could generate leads by hooking a potential customer's attention and prompting them to contact you. It could re-engage existing customers, reminding them why they bought from you in the first place, offering related products, or letting them know you've expanded your products or services. A site might help you attract new employees as well. Or you might just use a site to assist with customer support, answering frequently asked questions. To develop useful goals, put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Who is your website for? How do they act, think, and live? It's relatively easy to define an audience with demographic data like gender, age, and employment status. But don't stop there. Ask yourself, what makes my audience unique? Your goal is to develop a more complete picture of your audience, a customer persona. For example, examine specific age ranges rather than one wide range. Consider their location, city, suburbs, rural, etc. Consider their education level, employment, hobbies, and interests and values. Consider their views of your product or service. Is it a necessity, a nice to have, or a special treat? An understanding of your audience can influence everything on your site, from the graphic design to the words on the pages. It might be tempting to consider a broader audience. For example, everyone likes ice cream, right? But it's more useful to narrow it in on the audience you really want. Even though everyone loves ice cream, a gourmet ice cream shop may specifically want to reach trendy foodies who are willing to spend more for locally sourced products of high quality. If that's the type of ice cream you sell, you want your website to communicate that to the foodies who are your most likely customers. So you've thought about your target audience. Now start to think about them in relation to your website and the goals of your business. Everything you do on your website should support your goals. One useful way to create meaningful goals is to use the SMART framework. The S is the goal specific and detailed. The M stands for how will you measure it? The A is the goal realistically attainable? The R stands for is the goal relevant to your business? Will this goal help you reach your business goals? And T stands for time bound. Set a time frame for achieving this goal. Now that you're thinking about your goals and your audience, let's add another consideration to the mix: tracking and measuring success. If you don't track and measure your website's performance, you won't have a way to make improvements. Well, improvements based on data. Here's another way to think about it. Let's say you made some modifications to your bicycle to make it go faster. If you don't know your max speed before the modifications, how will you know if it worked? Similarly, you need to track and measure online success so you know what kind of improvements to make. There are lots of ways to do it, some more accurate than others. You can start by simply asking your customers how they found you. You can ask when they call you on the phone, visit your store, or correspond by email. You can also get more precise. For example, you can set up a trackable phone number. If you advertise with Google, you can use free call tracking, which records every time your ad results in a phone call. You can track the number of emails and form submissions from your site. If you have an e-commerce site, you can track sales. And you can also use web analytics software like Google Analytics to understand visitor behavior on your website. To help track and measure your goals, you can use a tool called Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free tool that can help you better understand your audience and their activity on your website. This information will help you make more strategic decisions for your business. If you're feeling lost when it comes to goal setting, it might help to put yourself in the shoes of your customer and try to understand what they would be looking for on your website. But you don't have to guess. Google Analytics can help answer many of these questions. You can use analytic reports to better understand your audience and what they're doing when they get to your website. Here are a few of the audience insights you can get. What are the highest sources of traffic? What content on your website attracts the most visitors? What keeps them on the site longer? What are some key demographics of your site visitors? Which channels drive the most conversions? Organic search, paid ads, social posts, or email newsletters? To set up a Google Analytics account for a website or app, visit g.co/analytics. You'll start by either creating a new account or signing into an existing analytics account. Next, you'll need to set up a property. A property is the collection point for the data that you will see in the reports. Follow the instructions to add the tracking code to your site. If you use a content management system, there may be a place to enter your Google Analytics measurement ID. Incidentally, if you set up a Google Analytics before October 14th, 2020, the version of Google Analytics is called Universal Analytics. The new version of Google Analytics is called Google Analytics 4 or GA4. But you can add and should set up both sets of reports, old and new. If you're already using the older version of analytics called Universal Analytics, you can set up the new reports using the GA4 Setup Assistant. Google that to see the Help Center article. Your old reports will continue to work and collect data, but now you'll have both sets of reports. If you're setting up Google Analytics for the first time, by default, you'll see GA4, but you have the option to set up the older version at the same time. During the setup process, under the Property Setup step, you can click Show Advanced Options. Now toggle on Create Universal Analytics Property and select Create both a Google Analytics 4 and Universal Analytics Property. Boom! You will create both types of reports, Universal Analytics and GA4. Simple as that. No matter which version you're using, the same concepts apply. I need to mention that there are multiple versions of Google Analytics. If you already have Google Analytics set up and you did that before October 14, 2020, your reports most likely reflect the older version called Universal Analytics. If you set up Google Analytics after that date, or if you are setting up Google Analytics for the first time for a particular site or app, you will see the version of Google Analytics called Google Analytics GA4. But if you have the older version of Google Analytics set up and you should add GA4 to your account, you will not lose your old data and the existing reports will continue to collect data too. But you will be able to access both sets of reports. Many accounts will have the option to use the GA4 Setup Assistant. We covered that here previously, so we don't need to go over that again. If you cannot use the Setup Assistant, there are detailed instructions in the Google Analytics Help Center. Visit support.google.com/analytics. The first topic is migrate from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4, and it has the information you need. No matter what version of Google Analytics you use, the reports can help you make better business decisions, and you can find those answers in both versions of the software. Again, if you set up Google Analytics before October 2020, you probably see reports like this that's displayed in the example. Some of the reports that you can find in Universal Analytics include real-time reports, which are useful to monitor activity as it happens on your site or app, audience reports for insight into characteristics of your users, like where they are, how often and how long they engage with your content, and what devices are most popular. Acquisition reports to discover how users arrive at your site or app. Behavior reports to discover how users interact with your site or app. And conversion reports. This is your website. It identifies if your website or app is successful. But let's take a look at the reports available in the new version of Google Analytics, Google Analytics 4. In GA4, reports are organized as follows: a report snapshot, a real-time report, what's happening right now, and a report collections and topics. Let's break them down by the terminology. A collection is a set of reports. Lifecycle and user are predefined collections that appear in the report navigation by default. Topics refers to the individual reports within a collection. For example, acquisition is a topic, a report, within the lifecycle collection. You can find 4 report types under the lifecycle collection. Acquisition, the resources, mediums, and campaigns through which you acquire users. Engagement, user engagement by events, pages, and screens. Monetization, revenue you might earn. Retention, retention by new and returning users. Cohorts, a cohort is a group of people banded together or treated as a group. And lifetime value. The user collection contains the following topics: demographics, to learn about your users; tech, to learn about the technologies used to access your site or app. Before we move on, I want to introduce another free tool that can help your site be more goal-oriented. Google Optimize. Optimize is a tool that works with Google Analytics so that you can not only pinpoint areas of improvement, but easily test what kind of changes work best. For example, let's say that Trade Street Jam Company noticed a low number of page views for their hot sauce. This might be explained if people think of them as strictly a jam company. To help, they might have a goal to increase page views and then sales of hot sauce. They have a few ideas, prominently featuring hot sauce on the homepage or adding a "Before you go, shop our hot sauces" link on the checkout page. They might have multiple designs, calls to action, and offers to try. But how can they learn what works best? That's where Optimize can help. The tool lets you run tests to see which content variations work best. The tool includes A/B multivariate and redirect test, and they can integrate seamlessly with Google Analytics. You can learn more about Optimize by visiting g.co/optimize. Now that we've covered goals, let's switch gears and talk about making your website search friendly. The process of helping a website increase its visibility on search engines is called search engine optimization, or SEO. We could do an entire presentation on SEO, but this section will give you a few tips to get your site off to a great start. It's clearly important that your business can be found online when people search, but it's also useful to understand how people search and what they search for. For example, from 2020 to 2021, Google search data shows a 100% increase for searches that include the words "now near me." This indicates that people want what they're searching for immediately. If you have the products and services they are looking for and your website confirms it, you have a great opportunity to make a sale. To help you understand how to make your site more search friendly, let's look at a Google search results page. It's probably familiar to you already, but we'll break it down into sections. At the top, you see a word, phrase, or question that the searcher typed in. This is called the search query. Below the search query, you see the search results. This example shows a text ad at the top of the results, clearly labeled. Underneath the ad is the start of the natural or organic results. Creating a search-friendly site helps increase your chances of appearing in this area. The organic results include sites that Google's algorithm has identified relevant and useful matches for the search query. When we talk about making your site search-friendly, we mean improving the chances of it appearing and appearing higher in these organic results. When we talk about clicks on links in the organic results are free. Websites can't pay Google to appear here, and advertising does not influence a website's organic presence or position. There's one more section to review. On the right side of the page is a Google business profile. Business profiles are available to local businesses with storefronts or service areas. You can hire a company or a consultant to improve your website's SEO, but there are plenty of things you can do yourself to improve your site's visibility in the organic search results. First, make your site fast. A website's load time is important, especially for mobile devices. A study commissioned by Google and conducted by 55 and Deloitte found that faster site speeds improved conversion rates and reduced bounce rates. In other words, websites that load faster encourage customers to stay longer and purchase more. Next, improve SEO by publishing original content that's useful, clear, and accurate. Include keywords consumers would search for to find your site, and make sure that your web pages actually include these words. SEO-friendly sites also include links either to other relevant places within your site or to other websites that publish high-quality information. And third, use text to anchor your links whenever possible, including relevant keywords as part of the link. Descriptive page titles and accurate page descriptions can also make your site more search-friendly. They should be unique to each page. Many content management systems allow you to add them. Next, organization. The way that your site is organized is known as information architecture. Logical information architecture helps visitors find the information they're looking for, and it's good for SEO too. Why? Because thoughtful organization helps Google more easily understand what your website is about, including what information is most important. Finally, remember to design your site in a way that works for all browsers and devices. About half of your visitors will be viewing your site from a smartphone or tablets. If they have trouble using your website, they may not choose to return. Another free tool from Google that can help you to monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in Google search results is Google Search Console. So what is Google Search Console? It's a free tool designed to help you improve your site's performance in Google search results. It used to be called Webmaster Tools. You may remember that if you had a website for a long time. It's important to note that you don't have to sign up for Search Console to be included in Google search results. But this tool helps you understand and improve how Google sees your site. As a small business owner, you may not dive deep into the technical details of Search Engine Console reports, but it can help you to understand how and why to make improvements. Search Console tools and reports can help you in a variety of ways, including confirming that Google can find and crawl your site. Crawling means to access the pages. Fixing indexing problems and allowing you to request re-indexing of new or updated contents. Indexing means including pages in Google's index. That's required to show up in search results. Showing Google search traffic data for your site. For example, how often your site appears in Google search, which search queries show your site, and how often searchers click through for those queries. It also allows you to sign up for alerts if Google encounters issues on your website. And lastly, it helps you troubleshoot issues for mobile usability. To sign up for a free Search Console account, start by visiting g.co/Search Console. You'll need to add a website property to your account and verify your ownership. You can create a property that includes entire domain, for example, example.com, or property that's limited to a single branch of your website, example.com/clothing. Once verification is complete, your account will be ready and it will start collecting data for the reports. So let's throw in a bonus tip here. Having a mobile-friendly website is clearly important, and you can use Search Console Mobile Usability Report to help your site get there. Did you know that there's a way to see how your website looks on different devices from your desktop computer? You'll need to open your site in a Chrome browser. Then right-click on the web page and click Inspect. This takes you into Chrome Developer Tools. You'll see the visible web page in the left side of the screen and the HTML code on the right side of the screen. This tool allows you to inspect elements on your web page, including, you guessed it, how it looks on different devices. Above the HTML code, there is a small icon that shows a screen overlaid by a mobile screen. It allows you to toggle the devices and see the web page on different screen sizes. You can change the size of the visibility of the screen by entering the screen dimensions, smartphone type, and more. We've talked about goals and organization. The next thing you need to consider is how visitors are experiencing your site, no matter what device they use. You want to create a website that offers ease and convenience for your customers. More than ever, consumers looking for convenience when they're shopping. Online shopping continues to grow for mobile, and this trend has become even more pronounced since the pandemic lockdown of 2020. Since the pandemic's onset, more than a quarter of online shoppers are using their mobile devices, ranging as high as 44% for grocery, though many have had nearly constant access to their home computers. This also includes mobile apps. Google searches for online shopping app download globally grew by 300% year over year. In order to make the most of this trend, your website must be convenient on all devices. Your first goal is to make it easier for people to use your website on a small screen. Let's talk about 6 ways you can make your website easier to use and more convenient for your customers. First, use a responsive design. This means that your website layout responds to the device being used, a fluid design that adapts to the screen size. The goal is to make it just as easy to use a website on a phone as it is on a desktop computer. As you build or rebuild a website, try a mobile-first approach. Instead of testing your site on a desktop computer, start by testing on a phone. For example, navigation is critically important. Design your site to allow plenty of space for users to tap on links. Think of a mobile visitor trying to navigate your site. If your site includes a call to action, make it tappable, linking visitors directly to the content they want to access. A little technical, but worth discussing with your website designer is using vector graphics. They load quickly and can be sized up and down without losing quality, compared to raster graphics like JPEGs, GIFs, and PNGs. When in doubt, less is more. A clean, minimalist design may make it easier for visitors to complete actions on your website. Last but not least, design a site for everyone. Follow accessibility standards so people with disabilities who may use assistive technology can more readily access your web pages. Let's take a moment to and try a brief activity, okay? If you have a phone handy, search for your own website or site that you use a lot on a computer. When you do that, register in your mind how quickly it takes your page to load or the page you're searching for to load. You also want to consider, how does the website look on your mobile device? Then you want to try and navigate around, click on a few pages, and figure out, is it difficult to do? If this is your website, you want to start making a list of potential improvements for mobile site visitors for the future. Second, make it easy to buy stuff on your site. How many of you have visited a website, tried to buy something, but got stumped during the checkout and bailed? A difficult checkout process can have a major impact on a site's conversion rate. Here are some things you can do to make it easier for visitors to complete purchases on your site. First, reduce the number of steps in the checkout process. Less is more. Second, show a visitor their progress as they move through checkout. This lets them know what they have left to do. And when they are almost done, offer guest checkout. And when they're almost done, offer guest checkout for visitors who don't want to create accounts to make a purchase. Here's a tip. After their transaction is complete, you might offer them the option to create an account for the next time to make their checkout process even faster. And give people choices. Offer multiple payment options and digital wallets such as Google Pay. You want to make it easy for customers to find and buy other things they need, even if they don't know they need it yet. If implemented well, related product recommendations will encourage customers to add more products to their shopping carts. Talk to your web developer about ways to add related product recommendations to your website if you use a web developer. Recommendations might be based on a customer's online purchase history, the products they viewed, or products that complement the items in their shopping carts. For example, if someone added a jar of jam to their cart, the website might suggest a specially sized jam spoon, a nice touch, or a nice gift. If you sell a product that requires separate components, for example, batteries sold separately, this is another opportune moment to suggest an additional product. Your goal, make it convenient for your customers to find everything they need on your site without extra effort. Finally, try to find ways to make shopping more convenient, online and offline. For example, a restaurant may now offer curbside pickup and let people know about it on their website. An e-commerce site might offer multiple options for shipping and delivery, or free shipping with a minimum order. And service providers might offer virtual options, allowing customers to continue being customers from the convenience of their homes. These are just a few general ideas to consider as you design a website that meets the needs of your customers. You also want to consider the speed of your site, how quickly or slowly your site loads. Your website speed is extremely important, especially on mobile devices. Google's Test My Site tool does just that. Test your site and evaluates the user's experience on a mobile device. Test My Site will tell you exactly how fast your site loads on mobile, pinpoint trouble spots, and give personalized recommendations on how else you can make your website more convenient. It just takes seconds for the tool to scan your site and generate a report. To try it out, go to testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com and type your website address into the blank field. You'll immediately learn how many seconds it takes your site to load, e.g. 3.6 seconds, plus a rating, poor, needs improvement, or good. You'll also have the ability to check out the speeds of competitors' sites or other sites in your industry. For more detailed recommendations, you can have a report emailed to you. Every second a potential customer spends waiting for your site to load counts. A 2020 study found that improving your site's load time by just 1/10 of a second can boost conversion rates by 8%. And people who make purchases on their phone say they're more likely to buy when they can make the purchases quickly. In this case, time literally is money. A free Google tool called Test My Site can give you the information you need about how your site is performing in this capacity. Test My Site will tell you if your website is fast or not. Every second a potential customer spends waiting for your site to load counts. This tool will rate your site's speed as poor, needs improvement, or good, and offers specific information on how to improve. Speed isn't the only factor that can affect a user's experience on your site, and Test My Site also evaluates personalization. Test My Site will give you tips on how to run experiments to see what content is engaging customers most, how to create tailored experiences for different customers, and how to launch your mobile site when a customer is offline, and more. The last element Test My Site can help you with is customer experience. Beyond how fast your site loads, there are other factors that can slow them down or throw up a roadblock as they're trying to interact with your site. For instance, if they're trying to make a purchase and they have to fill out a bunch of fields, they might get frustrated and stop. Or they may think, I don't have time to do this now, I'll come back later. The Test My Site tool will scan your site and offer suggestions for how to remove these roadblocks, such as allowing users to sign in with Google and have their information auto-filled at checkout. For a full report on your site's speed, personalization, and seamlessness, provide your email address on the Test My Site tool. You'll get technical suggestions you can pass along to your developers, as well as marketing solutions you can start implementing immediately. Now let's talk about the information within the website. A great website has lots of useful, relevant content that helps people find what they are looking for. Even if you don't have a lot of web pages now, your site will probably grow over time. As it does, it's important to keep it well organized. Planning how new content fits into the framework of your website can set it up for success. Start with a plan. Information architecture, or IA, sounds technical, but you don't need to be a website designer, programmer, or architect to create one. Simply put, it's a plan to organize information on your site. The IA maps out the sections, pages, and functionality of your site. The goal is to help people find information they're looking for and to complete tasks. To do this, you need to understand how the pieces of your site fit together to create the larger picture, how items relate to each other. There are several pages and sections found on most sites, including the home page, an About Us page or section, and a contact page. Depending on your own business, you will probably include a products or services section as well. There is no one right way to organize a site, but you may find it useful to review the business goals you wrote down earlier to build your website. Keep these top of mind as you create your plan. Let's cover a few last tips for organizing your site. Before you map out your main navigation and gather content, consider which pages will need to be included on your website. You want to make a list. Give each page on the list a clear call to action. For example, the web page shown on this slide invites visitors to shop new releases. A good call to action describes the action you'd like visitors to take. Signing up for a membership like the Trade Street Jam Jelly Club, or subscribing to an email newsletter, or even adding a product to the shopping cart. Here's another way to think about it. There should not be any dead ends. Visitors should get to the bottom of a web page and have to make a conscious decision about where to go or what to do next. Visual elements can help sighted visitors notice important information and cue them to take a further action. You want to be consistent. If visuals and text are inconsistent, it can be difficult for visitors to get the hang of using your website. Finally, optimize your website's navigation. Visitors should not have to think about finding a page. Navigation should be intuitive. Many websites include a site search feature to help with that as well. As your site is growing and you have your base content, you'll be thinking about adding additional content. And how do you get more ideas? Enter Google Trends. You can get there by visiting g.co/trends. It's a free tool that you can use to understand that relative popularity of keywords over time. You can access a largely unfiltered sample of actual Google searches. The data is anonymous. No person is identified. It's categorized. Each search is assigned a topic, and aggregated. It's grouped into categories. This allows Trends to display interest in a particular topic from around the globe or down to city level geography. You can use it to research keyword popularity and incorporate important keywords into your website content. Okay, so how can you use Google Trends to research the content for your website? Here's a few ideas. First, you can compare words and phrases to see which are searched more often. Trade Street Jam Company might be curious to see how a search for jam compares to a search for jelly. It's pretty interesting to see the results, shown here from the search conducted in September 2021. If you set Trends to show data for web searches in the United States, 2004 to present, in all categories, it shows that people are searching for the word jam. That's great. But if you scroll down to related topics and related queries, the top results appears to be related to games, not food. If you set the category to find food or drink, it changes things. The graph looks different for starters. Now you see a regular seasonal spike. Every July and December, it will raise and lower. If you dig into that, you might be able to get some ideas for adding popular, relevant content, maybe a new recipes section focused on summer fruit jam or spiced cranberry holiday jam. Okay, let's add one more layer to the mix. With Trends, you can compare search terms too. If you add the word jelly, you will see its relative search popularity compared to the word jam. Now you can see that in most parts of the United States, jelly is actually more frequently searched than jam. According to trends, that flips in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska. This information may or may not give you ideas for new content, but it definitely suggests that using the word jelly on your website may help Google connect your website with more searchers who want to find the products you sell. Before engaging with the website, people want to know that it is safe to do so, especially if they'll be sharing confidential information like their credit card numbers. That's why it's important to take steps to reassure customers that you take their privacy seriously and have a trustworthy site. The next time you're online paying a bill or placing an order, take a look at the web address at the top of the page. You'll likely notice a padlock symbol at the beginning of the URL. You might also notice that the address begins with HTTPS instead of HTTP. Both these things indicate that you're on a secure website. So how do you provide that security for your site visitors? First, you need an SSL certificate. Briefly, Secure Socket Layer, or SSL technology, encrypts data so it can't be stolen by hackers. Many customers who are used to shopping online will know to look for signs that your site has an SSL certificate before buying anything. You can't get SSL certificates through Google. You'll need to get them through your web hosting provider or a certificate authority. Let's back up just a minute. When you're on a web page, the browser you're using is consistently or constantly communicating with a web server. That's how you're online. But as information is being transmitted back and forth between the server and the browser, it has the potential to be intercepted by hackers. An SSL certificate signals to the browser that it should make the connection to the server secure and private, so there's no opportunity for someone else to access the information that's being shared. Savvy consumers know to look for the padlock or the HTTPS before making a purchase or sharing sensitive information, and it's in your best interest to offer them this security on your site. Your web hosting provider, may be able to issue an SSL certificate and renew it periodically. If that's not the case, you'll need to work with the certificate authority, CA, to obtain one. There are many providers, including the nonprofit Let's Encrypt, a free automated and open certificate authority by the Internet Security Research Group. Let's add 3 final tips for building a trustworthy website. Another way to build your brand trust with consumers is to have good, authentic customer reviews. Customers are savvy and won't just take your word for it that your products and services are 5-star. They want to hear from real people who have done business with you, use your products and services, and want to share their experience. You'll encourage satisfied customers to spread the word online, including on your business profile on Google. Embedding reviews on your website is a great way to put that feedback front and center for potential customers. Some review sites even offer widgets to help you do this easily. Encourage feedback from your customers by making your contact information easy to find throughout your site, including your location, phone number, and email address. We've covered a lot of information today. Let's talk about what you should do next. If you haven't already set up Google Analytics so you can start to track and measure your goals, you need to do so. To take a step further, try Google Optimize to run content experiments. You can use the tools together to see which content is more effective. Next, you want to sign up for a Google Search Console account and take a look at how your site is performing in Google Search. You can always find out how mobile-friendly your site pages are there. Once you've run your site through the Test My Site tool, browse the full report for tips on how to make your site more convenient for customers to use. Use Google Trends to get content ideas that can help you create organized websites. Finally, look into Google Pay to offer a secure payment method that will build trust with your customers if you don't already have a payment provider. And if you missed part 1, designing an engaging website for your business, You can watch it on demand at g.co/growonair. If you want to sharpen your business and marketing skills, check out the Google Primer app. Primer offers a series of short and fun lessons that are all less than 5 minutes each. You can download the free app to your phone, available through the Android Marketplace and through the Apple App Store. If you have an Android device, you can get it from Google Pay, and if Google Play, excuse me, not Google Pay. If you have an Apple device, you can get it from the App Store, of course. You can grow your digital skills no matter where you're located on Google with Google On Air. Man, I'm tongue-tied today. I apologize. On Air offers free online workshops so you can learn digital skills about a wide range of topics. Visit g.co/growonair to register for upcoming sessions. You can also rewatch past workshops on demand there. You can also find the workshops that we do through the SBDC here in Abilene on our YouTube page, which is, of course, SBDC Abilene. This session was brought to you by Grow with Google and the SBDC at Texas Tech University in Abilene. It's an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. Job seekers can grow their skills in order to find new jobs and advance their careers. Teachers can learn how to put the latest technology to work inside and outside of their classroom. Small business owners, that's you, can build their online presence and find new customers. Startups can learn how to get their ideas the exposure they need to succeed. And developers can sharpen their current skills and master new ones. To learn more, visit google.com/grow. And that concludes today's presentation on how to make your website work for you. If there are any questions at this time, I would be happy to take any questions that you may have. If there are no questions, that will conclude today's webinar. This webinar will be posted on our YouTube channel within the next 24 to 48 hours. If you would like to go back and review it once again. Thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at presentations in the future. Have a great day.